Hi, I'm Randy Bass from UXStars.com, and today I'm going to talk with you about a trip to Walmart. I know how excited you are. So, today I was going to be using the pickup option. Now, in the pickup option, you can order things ahead of time, wait in your car, and they come out with a cart and load up your trunk for you, all for free. And so when I arrived to Walmart, I thought something looked a little off. I sent out this picture with my car parked there in the pickup area. You can see the orange signs, right? Now, one thing that wasn't quite apparent enough to some folks is that the folks with the groceries actually come out of this store, this service store, and not the big main door here. All right, but I asked them what looks off with this in terms of UX, and I got a lot of responses, and they had some good points. Uh, I wouldn't say that any of them were wrong. I'm just saying what was really standing out to me in this day and age. Okay, so what do you think it is? All right. So what really was standing out to me, at least, was that I was the only customer doing the pickup, and it seemed a bit odd to me because when the pandemic sort of swept the lands, I figured that stores would be doing lots of different pickup options, and Walmart has been already doing this in pre-pandemic times, and so I kind of thought that they were in the best situation to really increase capacity for that. I thought they would actually be adding more car slots, but something didn't seem to really add up here to me because where were all the other customers taking advantage of pickup? Now, this was a Thursday morning, right? And so when you look at these things, you have to say, well, was this just a coincidence that I was there then? But the other times I arrived as well, there weren't a whole bunch of other people doing pickup, maybe one or two other cars. So that led me to question, okay, this sign is parked in front of the parking spot, and it says, "For your safety and ours, remain in your vehicle for a no contact experience." And so, okay, they're recognizing that this is the safest way to go, to be in your car, have somebody else load up your car, not have to press any buttons, and then just drive back home. Now, of course, you're going to have to handle your own groceries, whether you do that with gloves or whatever at home. That's all up to you, but you can, of course, wash your hands nice afterwards. So, okay, if you're in agreement here that this is possibly the safest way to go, then the question is, what am I missing? I would think that the job to do here would be help more customers and employees by having more no contact shopping experiences. So, some of the answers based on the photo that I got from other folks were okay, it just says the word pickup. Some people might think that you're talking about a pickup truck instead of a sedan. It's possible. Too many spaces. That one was getting closer. Yes, you noticed that I was pointing to the lack of something here, the lack of cars in all the pickup spots, which I was rather shocked by. And the one car was mine. So they're not providing assistance to maintain social distancing. Was a bit closer. I didn't want to go so far as to say that they're not providing assistance. So you'll see in some of the other slides some of the things that they are doing. Again, I'm not saying that people at Walmart who work there haven't been bending over backwards to try to help us stay healthy and get everything we need. I'm just pointing to this particular scenario because this is what we do. We look at the user experience as it is and say, why is it that way? Does it have to be that way? What am I missing? And sometimes there are valid constraints that come into play. There may be things that I don't know. I'm not a grocer. I'm not a doctor. Moving right along. So some people said they could have reformatted the parking lot to make it easier to pick up items. All right, they could have done that. The paint job, if you look back at it, was a bit shoddy. Yeah, it looks like they sort of painted really quickly when they were making this section originally. I think it was a couple of years ago. If not last year. I don't know. Time flies. And so far out. Well, again, I didn't make it clear that the orange door was where they came out of, but yes, you're right. They could have put the cars on the other side, even closer to the orange door. So I don't know what the thinking was there. Um, there could have been a valid reason. I'm not really sure. And there were also some concerns about overall company ethics, especially in these times. So, taking a look at a closer look into this, I went to go on the Walmart website and say, okay, so if there's not a lot of cars in the pickup slots, then why do we have to wait so long to get our next pickup? So today, which is Thursday, if I was to schedule my next pickup, it says that I couldn't do that till next Wednesday. And it was a bit surprising to me because it would be like if you're at an amusement park or something and you see that there's no line by the roller coaster, and then they're like, oh, it's going to be an hour wait, sir. And you'd be like, am I missing something? So, not that this is exactly like an amusement park here, but what I'm trying to say is when you arrive there and you don't see any other cars in the pickup area, and then you see that this thing appears to be in such demand that you can't even schedule another pickup till the next Wednesday, that's kind of a head scratcher. You may see that there's a delivery option here. Let's take a look at that. It's also a week off. It's, another one of those no contact experiences where they can be dropping it off on your porch or whatnot, but still a week away. And so when you're giving people an option that says, well, if you want groceries, you might have to wait a week, that's not necessarily going to be practical for everybody. If you're a parent with young kids, you're going to need diapers when you need diapers or formula or baby food. There's definitely some items that are like you need it now, and there are other items that are less so. And if you plan ahead, of course you're better off. But what I'm trying to get at is, if your goal is to keep people having more no contact experiences, and then you're saying, well, if you want that no contact experience, you gotta wait a week, you're gonna have more people going into the stores. And now it was not a really crowded store shopping experience, but you did see plenty of other cars in the shopping lot, and people were in there wearing bandanas and all kind of things over their faces for what protection that offered, if only from when they coughed, so that other people would not be affected. So I dug into this one step further. I went to the website and I saw many of the very admirable types of things they were doing behind the scenes, as far as I can tell, to help keep people safe. But I came across this line here, and okay, this is another head scratcher. Let me read this out loud, and maybe it'll click with me this time. To help ensure we can get you the items you ordered, we've shortened the time frame you can order ahead to 2 days, and reduced the number of available pickup slots. And I'm like, wait, what does reducing the number of pickup slots have to do with getting people their orders? Because if there are no pickup slots, then people are just going to be going into the store. And so, I mean, unless I'm reading this wrong, it just doesn't quite add up to me. So there were some items that when my wife tried to order them, she could not. And so I ended up having to go in and wear a mask, and I took a few pictures along the way. They are doing things like, signage to help remind people about distancing from each other. They're also doing an interesting approach, which has to do with the direction of the aisles that you're walking in. It's pretty much every other, although this one here, for some reason, there might have been a reason, is like, wait, no, these are both green. It was a bit odd, and you know what? There could be a study that says this is extremely effective. I've just, it's a very foreign experience to me, just not having seen anything like that in a store before. I'm not saying it's not effective. All right, so I don't have all the answers here on why everything is the way it is, but I do have some questions which somebody would study if they were going to go deeper into this. I would say, on average, how many people are getting pickup service per hour or day? how many slots are they providing, I wonder? And um, are people aware enough of the service? Right? Is that what's doing it? Or are people just not able to get the slots and so they're not bothering? Are people satisfied enough with the pickup service? Um, in other words, are they really at capacity, or are not enough people just aware? Do people trust that the inventory is accurate? And now this is not only having to do with Walmart, but other stores. Walmart, I've noticed from my own experience, has been surprisingly, on top of inventory, as opposed to some other stores where I have seen other results. Um, but if people don't trust that the website is telling them the right thing, like if the website says it's out of stock and then they go into the store and then they see the item, well, then they're not going to trust the system and they're going to go in. Are people intimidated by ordering digitally? What constraints is Walmart facing? Fridge space, they have to go and pick up all your groceries, and then they have to make sure that your milk stays cold and ready all to go out to your car. So they have, I believe, special refrigerators for the pickup items. Grocery pickers, there may be only so many laborers to go and do all the shopping for you. And overall, I just sort of wonder if they're putting sufficient effort in to increasing the pickup ratio as far as more people doing pickup versus not. I don't know. I'm just surprised when I see that parking lot like that. One thing's for certain, nobody's going to sit on this bench. If anybody is missing caution tape, I think that this is where it went. And so I did think that this was a pretty effective sign. I try to say, Randy not complaining about everything here. This was a nice, clear sign that somebody designed can't get any bigger than this. Short, sweet, to the point. All I'm saying is, when this whole thing happened, I thought more stores were going to be in a rush to try to find ways to keep people from even leaving their cars to get the things they needed. And it's just not all quite adding up to me based on what I do know on why I'm not seeing more people doing the pickup. So it is part of the answer to the UX mystery I proposed, and also still more questions. So if you know anything about this phenomenon that I'm missing, please do feel free to comment. All right. Till next time. Bye-bye.